So we have finally completed the bar data. So if you wish to get OHLC data, candle data, then you can simply use any one of the function. Either you can use the request historical data function, or you can start a WebSocket connection by using the request real-time bar function. So any one function you can use to get the OHLC data. Now I have classified a strategy into two types. One type is in which you need candle data. Okay, your strategy is based on candle. So once a candle is formed, only then you will be making a decision. This is one type of strategy. The other type of strategy is in which you need ticker level data, or I can say tick level data. Now, what is tick level data? Now, whenever we take any instrument, now that instrument price will change after every second. So at 1 second, the price will be different, and in the next second, again, the price will be different. Okay. So whenever we record second level information, at this second, what is the price? At this second, what is the price? So instead of calling second level data, we call it tick level data. At this tick, this was the price. At this tick, this was the price. So that is what we will be discussing now. That is how we can get tick level data. That is second level data. Now, in order to start with this, you can go to the notebook and click on tick data. This is the Jupyter notebook that we will be discussing right now. Now, when it comes to tick data, there are two major classes that we will be discussing. One is request ticker function. Okay. This function helps us to get the price of a instrument at that instance. Okay. Let's say that there is Reliance stock and you want the Reliance stock price at let's say right now it is 915. 915, 10 second. So you want to know what is the price of Reliance at this current instance, that is 10 second. So you will use this function. This is one way to get the tick level data. The other is the WebSocket. You can use this request market data function, which will create a WebSocket between your file and the server, and will keep sending you real-time tick level data. So every second, in a second, for 2 to 4 times, it will send the data. Okay, to millisecond level, it is going to send the data that at this millisecond, this was the price. So these two functions we will be discussing right now. So I hope this concept is clear. We have categorized strategy into two types. Candle, one is a candle based strategy and one is a tick based strategy. Now, once you have the tick level data, you can easily convert the tick data into candle data. We can use the resample function, which we have discussed in our previous session, to convert a tick level data into a candle data. So let's start with this. So let's make a new file. So first I'll write ticks.py. So we will just copy the code that we have made in our last session. So I'll just copy these lines of code. Now, right now only Forex market is live. So I won't be able to get real-time data for any other Indian stock, but I will be able to get for Forex stock. So I've made the contract. Now let's use the function. So I'll go to the website and I'll just copy this code. Paste it here. We'll remove the contract part of the code. Now this is how you will use the function. You will write ib.requestTicker. This is the function name, and then it will take the contract as an argument. Okay, and this will give you an object of ticker type. So let me just print this ticker. Now always remember, whenever you are using any type of function, what might happen is you have written the code. Now this line will run, but instantly after running it, the next line will run. Okay, so what might happen if I'll just show you instead of saying, so I'll just write print ticker and I'll just comment these two lines of code and let's run the code. Now you see, after running the code, I've got this list. Now sometime what happens, once you run the code, it takes some time to receive the data. Okay, and within that time, if you run the next line of code, so you might not be able to get the data. It might throw an error. So I always suggest that whenever you are making any call, whenever you are requesting any type of data, always add a pause between it. Okay, between the next line of code and the current line of code. So what we can do, we can simply write ib.sleep and we can just wait for 1 second. So before printing the data or before using the data, we should always have some pause. This pause can be like a millisecond also, but to keep it simple, I'll have 1 second of pause. Okay, so after having 1 second of pause, only then I will be printing the data. So this is the data that I'm getting. So let me just copy this data. Now in future also, whenever you come across any new class, so this is how you're going to approach the problem. First, you will copy the class. Okay, you'll try to understand what are the things that we have in this object. Okay, it's not a class, it's an object. And in this object, what is the name of the object? Or I can say name of the class. Name of the class is ticker. And this object was made from the ticker class. Okay, this is the first information that I was able to understand by looking at this data. And this entire data is within the list. Okay, so what I can do, instead of writing ticker, I'll write ticker square bracket 0. If I write square bracket 0 instead of the list, I'll get the ticker type of object. Okay, so if I run the code again, so let me just remove this bracket and let's save it in A. I'll remove that square bracket at the end also, and I'll just run the code. Okay, it is saying date time is not defined. So let's just import a date time also. So here I'll write import date time. So now this should work. Yes, now it is working properly fine. We have got the ticker object, which was made out of ticker class, and we have just saved it in a variable. Okay, and I'll just print it again in the next line, print A. So now the same ticker will be printed twice, one from this line and one from this line. So you can see this is the first ticker and this is the same ticker again printed. Now let's try to understand what are the different things that we have in this ticker class. So first thing I have is this contract. Okay, so in the ticker class, I have multiple data. One of the data is contract data. Okay, then what I have, then I have time data. First I have contract, then time. Time represent whatever the current time is. After time, I have this min tick. There is this bid data, bid size, ask size, high, low, close. All these things are there. Okay, now what are the important things? From my experience, the important thing is first I have the contract. Okay, whichever contract data this represent, that contract itself. Then the time is important. Then the remaining things are not that important. Okay, these are the two things that are important. Now you might be wondering that why do we have high, low, close data when we are talking about tick level data? Okay, so you can just research it on your own, why we are having it. There are two possibilities. One is it might be the nearest candle data, or it might be 1 second HLC data. Now 1 second OHLC data is not possible. So you have to figure it out on your own, what this represent. So for now, this is not that important. So I'm going to skip it. Okay. So let me repeat one more time. So after calling this request ticker function, I have received the ticker type of object. Means it's a tick. This object was made out of ticker class. And in this ticker object, I have things like contract, which represent the contract. Then I have time, and then I have few more data. Okay, now once you have an object of some type, and when you print that object, okay, so you will only see some information. Okay, for now we are only seeing only this much information. It doesn't mean that this object only has this much of information. There are a lot more other information that this object is having, but it is not displayed while printing it. Okay, so if you're not understanding what I'm saying, you can refer to my class and object lecture to understand it in more detail what I'm talking about. I'll repeat it one more time. What I'm saying is, whenever you print an object, you will only see the content that are important. You will not see everything. So it might also be possible that there are more class and attribute, not class, there are more methods and attribute that exist in that object which are not visible. Okay, so if you want to access those, you just write dot. So see, the moment I write dot, you see these are all the things that I can see here. Okay, it can be an attribute or it can be a method, I'm not sure. Okay, if I'll just use this name and I'll run the code. If it doesn't work, if it throws an error, it means it's a function. So I'll just write round brackets. Okay, so one of the most important function is this market price. Okay, this is the most important function, because what this function does, it will take an object, and like if you have an object of type ticker, and if you call this market price function, it will tell you what was the price of that ticker at that instance. Okay, so see, if I run the code, so it will show me that the price of that stock was $1.15. Okay, and just look at the time. Okay, right now. So I'll just print the time also along with this. If I want the time, I'll write a dot time. That's it. Now let's do one thing. Let's just comment this code out for now and now let's run the code. So this is the price of the stock at this time. I'll run it again. And this is the price at this time. Now look at the time. Right now at this point, the time was 14:43:21. And here also it is 14. Okay, wait. So see what I'm doing right now, I'm printing the same ticker again and again. So instead of printing here, what I should do is I should print here. I'll remove this and I will paste it here. Okay. So instead of A, I have to write here ticker. And here also instead of A, I'll write ticker. And this should be square bracket 0 because it's a list. So I want the first element of the list. So now it will give me the proper price of the stock and the time of that stock. Yeah, so I've got it. This is the price at this time. Okay, it is 49:20. So if I run it again, I will get the new latest time. Now the latest time is 14:49:28. 8 seconds are passed. And the value of the instrument has changed from 1049 to 10479. Okay, so if I run it again, I'll get a new price. Okay, so this is how you can use the request ticker function to get the ticker type of object, and this ticker type of object have lots of data, and one of the most important data is the market price, that is the current price of that instrument. Okay, so you can also use this function as a, you can use this function in a loop to get the real time data, real time tick level data of a stock, okay, without using the WebSocket. So let me show you how that can be done. So what I will do, I'll just remove, or let me just comment the code for now. I'll comment all the code. Now these 3 lines of code are the important one. Okay, so I'll just add it in a for loop. All right, for I in range, let's do it for 10 times. Okay, for 10 times this loop will be running, and 10 times this code will be running. So after every, so let's wait for 1 second to, okay, we already have the pause, so it shouldn't be a problem. So after every second, we are going to call this request ticker function, and after every second, we will be getting the latest price of the stock. So see, if I run the code, I will get the price at each second. So you can see at this second, 57 second, this was the price, 59 second, this was the price, then 51010406. So at each second, whatever the price of the stock was, it was printed on the left side. Okay, now this is one way of using this function, but the problem in this way is we have to call it again and again. Okay, so if you remember in my previous session, I've told you this concept of WebSocket. Okay, if you have a WebSocket, you don't have to call it again and again. The server will continuously send you the data and you don't have to make any other calls. Okay, so if you wish to get the real time price of the stock at that instance, so you will be using the request rick ticker function, or you can say request ticker function. This is what you should remember for as far as this ticker function is concerned. Okay, now we will be discussing how we can make a WebSocket connection. So if you remember in real bar file, we have made a WebSocket connection for real time bar. We were getting candle data after every 5 seconds. Now what we will do, we will make another WebSocket connection, but now this WebSocket connection will give us data after every second instead of 5 seconds. So at this second, whatever the price of the stock is, it will give me the data of that stock in the ticker type of object. Okay, so how can we do this? Let's go to the PPT. I'll go to the next slide. I'll just copy this code. So let's make a new file too. So I'll write tick real.py. Now, remember, before moving to the WebSocket part, you should remember that when I call this request ticker function, I'm receiving a ticker type of object. Okay. Now, when I will be making a WebSocket connection, then also I will be receiving ticker type of object only, but a little differently. Okay. I'll show you how it is different, but at the end of the day, I will be receiving the same ticker type of object. So let's just copy the basic code. paste it here. Now let's copy the WebSocket code. So here is the WebSocket code. I'll copy this, paste it here. I'll remove the stock part. Okay. So let me just explain you what things we are having. First, we are having a function just like the real-time bar data. The syntax is pretty much same. We will be having a function. This function name you can have whatever you want. It should take one argument, and in this argument itself, you will be getting the real-time data. So for now, I'm just printing this t. Okay, so whatever data I'm getting, I'm just printing that data. Then I'm calling this ib.request market data function. Okay, this is the most important function of IB broker because this is the function that you use to get real-time data. Okay, via WebSocket. So in this request market data, again, you have to send 4 argument. Now the last two are not that important. This first argument and the second argument is important. For now, I'm not discussing the second argument. For now, let's leave it blank. The first argument is the contract. So whatever instrument you want to subscribe for. Okay, let's say you want real-time data for Reliance stock. So just make a contract of Reliance stock and send it in this contract. Let's say you don't want one stock but 2 to 3 stock, like you want Reliance also real-time data, you want Infosys real-time data, you want Adani real-time data. So if you want real-time data for all the 3 stock, you'll make the list of contract. Okay, make a list of contract, just send this contract, it will subscribe for all the 3 contracts, or I can say all the 3 stocks. Once it has subscribed, then you can start the connection in this way. You'll write ib.pending tickers event plus equal to pending tick. What is this pending tick? Pending tick is the name of the function. Now this name can be anything. Okay. Now this line 14 is responsible for starting the connection. Once you run this line of code, the connection is started. Not started, the connection has made. Okay, now if you want to start the connection, there are 2 ways. Either you can use the ib.run function, or you can use this sleep function, and after sleeping for a few seconds, you'll cancel your uh, subscription. Okay, so what we are doing here, we will sleep for 20 seconds. So for 20 seconds, the connection will be active. So we will constantly receive tick level data from the server after every second. After 20 seconds, we will close the connection. Okay, so line 16 is responsible for closing the connection for all the stock that we have subscribed for. So now I'll just run the code and I'll show you. Now what will happen? When I run the code, whatever data we will be getting, we will be simply printing it out. So let's run the code and see. So you can see after every second I keep getting data. Okay, and now right now this data is in raw format. Okay, so that's why we are not understanding it much. So we will try to understand what type of data it is and we will try to trace it out. Okay, we will try to get the data that we need. Okay, so I hope till here everything is clear. So I'll just repeat it one more time. So what we have done, we have copied the code for the WebSocket. So for all the WebSockets, so till now we have seen 2 WebSocket. One WebSocket was for the bar data. This WebSocket is for the real-time tick level data. So for tick level data, you use request markers data function. We send 4 argument. Okay, the first is the contract, that is for which stock you want real-time data, you have to specify in this first argument. The second argument I'll discuss later, and the last 2 argument is false. Then you will write ib.pending ticker event plus equal to the name of the function. So within this name of the function, whatever argument or parameter you are sending, in that parameter you'll get the data. So whatever data we are seeing here, everything is stored in this t. Okay, so let's try to understand the data. Okay, so if you remember in the previous file also, whatever data we got, I just pasted it here. So let me do the same thing. So whatever data I'm getting, I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. So this is the data that I'm getting. Now if you notice, this data is actually a set. You can see curly bracket, it's not a dictionary, but it's actually a set. So let's store it in a variable. Okay, and for now let me just comment the code. I'll just comment the WebSocket code for now. First, let's try to understand this data that we are getting. Once we understand the data properly, then we will be able to get the desired information. So we need this date time also. So let me just import it. So instead of importing here, I'll import it here. Import date time. Okay. Now, if you look at this data carefully, what is this? This is a tuple. Okay, and within this tuple, I have this ticker type of object. Now, this ticker type of object is similar to the object that we were receiving in the previous file. Okay, when we were calling the, what was the function name? The function name was request ticker. So when we called the request ticker function, in that case also we received the ticker type of object. And in this case also we are receiving a tuple, not tuple, we are receiving a set, and in that set we are having the ticker type of data. Okay, so what I will do, instead of operating it on a set, let's convert this into a list. Okay, so I'll write A is equal to list A. So what line 21 will do? Line 21 will convert my set into a list. Okay, once I have the list, I'll get the last element. Because when we will be receiving the data, there will be multiple data. I don't need all the data, I need the most latest one, the last one. So the last one will be having the index -1. Okay, so now let me just print this A to show you how this looks like. So this will look like just like a ticker type of data. You can see this is a ticker type of data. Now that I have A, now I can perform all the functions, like, if I want the ask price, bid price, option volume. So whatever I want, I can get it from this object. Okay, I'll repeat it one more time. What I have done, I've got a tuple first. So I got the ticker object from that tuple. No, sorry, not tuple, the set. From that set, I had to get that ticker object. So how did I got the object? I converted the set into a list first. After converting it into a list, I got the last element. So I use -1. Now this A represents the ticker object. Okay. Now on this ticker object, whatever I want, like let's say I want this contract. So I can simply write A dot contract. So if I run the code, so what I'll get, I'll only get the contract. You see, I'm only getting the contract. Okay. Now other information also I can get, like if I want the time. Okay. So I'll write A time. So if I run the code, it is going to give me the time. You see, it is giving me the time. Now let's say I want something else. Like I want bid, ask is there, ask size is there, previous bid, high is there, low is there. See, after high, close, low, there is one more section of data which was not present in the previous file. See, if you remember in the market price function, the data that we were getting, if I go at the end, the last data was halted. After halted, I don't have anything else. But in this case, after halted, I have this tick. Okay, there is this something called as tick. Okay, so let me just get this tick. So instead of time, I'll write TICKS. Okay, and I'll just print it. So this tick is the real data. Okay, this tick represents. So first of all, this tick is a list. Okay, if you look at this data, it's a list, and in this list, I have a object of type tick data. Okay, now this is a new type of data. So I'll just copy this data also. So this tick data is starting from here. Okay, and it is going till here. All right, and no, I think it is going till here. So this entire thing is one tick data. So what I'll do, I'll just write square bracket 0. If I write square bracket 0, I will get the tick data object. So this is the tick data object that we have in the ticker type of object. So this might be getting a little confusing. Okay, so let me just repeat everything one more time so that if you are lost, you'll come back to the track. So what we have done, first we started the WebSocket. After starting the WebSocket, we got a set. Okay, we didn't got any list. In the previous file, we got the list, but in this case, we got the set. So what we did, we converted the set into list and we got the latest element by writing -1. So this A represents the latest data that we are getting in this object. Now in this A is nothing but it's a ticker type of object. And in this ticker type of object, everything was same in the previous function also, but I have this one extra data, that is tick data. Okay, so this is what we have understood. So when we start the WebSocket connection, everything will be same, but this tick, this ticks data, in this ticks data, I will be getting the real time data. Okay, so to show you, what I'll do, I'll just print this. So I can also convert this into a data frame. So how to convert it? So this is a list. How do we convert a list of data into a data frame? We use util.df. So I'll write util.df. Now if I run the code, you'll see that this will be represented as the data. So there are total 4 columns. Only 2 columns are important. One is time. So at this time, what is the price? This is the price. Okay. So what I'll do now, I'll just copy this code and okay, let me just uncomment everything. So I'll take the same code. I'll paste it here. And instead of A, we will write T, and we will not print the entire object. Instead of printing the entire object, we will only print this data frame. Okay, from the entire ticker object, we are only printing this ticks. Okay, we are not printing anything else. So what will happen now? Once I start the connection, this WebSocket connection will be active for 20 seconds. And in that 20 seconds, I'll keep seeing a data frame. In that data frame, 4 data will be there. One is time, tick type, price, and size. For us, there are only 2 information that is important. One is time, what time it is, and what price it is. These are the only 2 information that is important for us. So let's run the code and see. So you can see this is the tick level data. If you look at this section here, you can see the second keeps changing, 27, 28. If I scroll up, you can see it was 21, 22, then 24, then 25, 26, 27, 37. So you keep getting data after every second. Now, this is not 100% accurate. Like what I'm trying to say is, it might happen that few seconds might be skipped. Due to some reason, you might not be able to get all the second level data. You might, the connection might skip 1 or 2 second data. After the delay of 2 seconds, you might get the next data. But the connection will be active for the seconds that you have provided. That is for 20 second, the connection will be there. And for 20 second, even if you ticks are missed, the next tick will keep coming. Nothing will stop those future ticks to come to our data. I hope this is also clear. Yeah, so I guess that should be it for the tick level data. Let me just close this. So let me just quickly revise one more time what we have discussed. So we have discussed 2 files. One is tick level data. Okay. So we have used this request ticker function. Request ticker function will give you ticker type of data. In ticker type of data, there are lots of information you can access. One of the most important function that I have told you is this market price function. Okay, market price function will tell you whatever the price of that ticker, whatever the price of that instrument is at that instance. Then we looked into WebSocket. Okay, so if you want a real-time WebSocket connection, these many lines of code you have to write. That is, you need to make a function. You need to call the request market data function. In that, you have to specify all the contract. So whichever instrument you want real-time data, you have to specify the contract. And then you just write this line of code to make the connection. You just write the sleep command uh, to start the connection. So if you write 20, the connection will be active for 20 seconds. And then after 20 seconds, you'll stop the connection. Now this is one way. Okay. The other way is, you'll, instead of doing this, if you want the connection to be active forever, you'll simply write ib.run. Okay. So if I write this much code, the connection will never stop. Okay. Even after 20 seconds, the connection will still be active and I'll keep getting the data. So if you see here, just notice here, okay, 52, right now it is 52, then 54, 55, 56. After every second, I'll keep getting data. It is never going to stop. And this is the active price of the stock right now. Okay. Now, similar to this instrument, you can also apply for other instrument. Like I'll show you one more example. Instead of Forex, let's try to get real-time data for a crypto stock, because crypto is also active right now. So I'll write contract is equal to crypto. Let's get BTC. Then the exchange for interactive broker is Paxos, PAXOS. And the last is a USD. And I'll just comment this code. I'll run the code. Now this connection, this WebSocket connection will give me real-time data for Bitcoin. See, right now the price is 30428. So every second, the price of the Bitcoin I'm getting into my code in this manner via WebSocket. Yeah, so that's it.